Hi FOS Nation, it's your man Calculus the Engineer. On today's episode, we're going to cover walling. And walling here is the component done after concreting of slabs. This can be suspended or ground slabs. And we are going to look at the intricacies of the process and the considerations made by the technical team on site. So the proper way usually of progressing with construction upon concreting of ground slabs or suspended slab is to build up the walling. And the walling is built up with the typical hoop ions at every alternate course to manage cracks if and when they develop during the service life of the building until the level specified by the architect. If the walls are higher than the typical about 2 to 2.1 meters, which is a typical height of a door, it is advisable to break that height using some beams so that we don't have walls that are unstable because of very tall heights. So after the wall is built up, it is advisable to now concrete columns between the walls, at the junctions between the walls or at the edges of the walls. So the rationale behind concreting of columns after the walling is done is that you want to ensure that the concrete inside the column, the concrete for the column and the walling bond, and they facilitate a very robust bond in terms of that area. There's good adhesion between the concrete and the walling surface to the face of the column. So that's why usually it is advisable to first put up the wall, then concrete the columns afterwards. So after you put up the wall and you've cast or concreted the columns to promote the rigid construction, you can then progress to do the formwork for the beams, that is the floor beams and the slab above. So it is now when after you've concreted the columns, you can now do the formwork, erect the formwork and cut, bend and fix steel for the beams and the slab above the walling that will then be concreted monolithically. And monolithically, like we mentioned a few episodes back, is to cast the members as one. There's no construction joint. It is done at the same time so that they act as a single structural element. And this is desirous because stresses are transferred uniformly and the structure can now have predictable behavior during when it is stressed by loads. So that will be the typical procedure you'll follow when doing walling and the rationale behind it. Stay tuned for another informative and exciting episode.